got us there, but we played sloppy against Red Bank early. I think a lot of it was the moment. We did some things we hadn't done all year as far as putting the ball on the ground and meshes and some things like that. And the same thing against Pearl Cone. We came out and, they hit a long ball early, and then we fumbled the next play, and we're down 14-0, and they played hardly a minute of football.
What was your thoughts then?
Not to sound overconfident, but there was no question of whether we'd come back and play. It's just at that point you're playing somebody that's playing for a state championship. Is it too late? Can you overcome the deficit? And so once the game got settled down and we got into our offense, and it was clear we were going to be able to run our game on offense, and the defense settled down, and they're actually a run team, and they struggled to run the ball at all. But they were explosive, and we did put our DBs on islands at times to help sell out for the run. So we gave up a couple of lightning strikes, but really other than those 3 lightning strikes, they struggled to move at all. But it was still, turnovers and lack of execution at times that maybe kept us from really blowing that thing open a long time ago. But again, that's a good team, athletic team. It's a little different matchup, so it's hard to tell whether, again, it was the emotion of that moment or just how athletic they were that caused some of those issues for us.
Our phone lines are open. You have a question or comments for head coach Davey Gillum or some of these fine, outstanding young men with us here tonight. Chandler, we just want to pan over, take a look at these state champions. Sure, come on up, guys. Just come on up and introduce yourself and tell everybody what grade you're in and what position you play.
Braden Miller. I'm a senior. I was a slot receiver. I played outside a little bit. That was about it.
Walker Martinez, quarterback.
Bryson Val, senior, wide receiver.
Most people don't recognize Bryson without all this hair.
Gavin No, 25, running back, linebacker, and Coach Lambert's favorite kid.
Eli Davis, senior, tight end, middle linebacker.
Jaden Bullock, senior, OLDO.
Matthew Clayton, junior, OLDO.
Lucas May, senior, OLDO, and running back.
He did get a couple of reps in there.
Did he?
Grayson Bradshaw, junior, left tackle, D tackle.
My bad, and I forgot also was quarterback too.
All right, guys. We'll be back to talk to y'all individually here in a little bit. But first off, congratulate y'all on an outstanding season, a perfect season, and state champions. So
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
we'll be back here and chat with y'all just in a little bit. I now turn our attention back to Coach Gillum, and you got some characters on this team. Huh?
We do. And really, that's one of the best things about the team. We got a lot of seniors, and they're all tight-knit, and that chemistry comes out on the field. They really enjoy being around each other, a lot of different personalities, but they're pretty tight-knit. And you get down 14 in a championship game, or like we were a few times, that those relationships come out into play in those tight games.
Yeah, the Red Bank game, it sort of scared me when y'all were down at halftime, and I was like, well, I didn't know you had that big win over Greenville, and you got past that hurdle, and
Sure.
then the next step, and had a first half had some maybe some little jitters there.
Yeah, it was sloppy. It was hard to put a finger on exactly what the issue was, but it was a lot of execution. We dropped the ball in the mesh a lot of times. We turned the ball over. We busted some coverages, and we just looked bad. That whole first half, and it was Thanksgiving week, so we had been out of school all week. So, I thought we handled it well as far as schedule and kids coming in being excited about practice, but it's still a different environment, and you're still in a kind of vacation mindset for the kids. So it was a little different. And then, like you're saying, that Greenville win is as emotional a win as we've had since I've been there. That was, I mean, the whole community was just like a sigh of relief and just ecstatic. So it is hard to duplicate that kind of emotion 2 weeks in a row. And then just the nerves of being in a semifinal, knowing you're one game away from getting a crack. So whether it's all them things together or one of those things, I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it, but at halftime we just talked to him about, hey, you know, we've played about as bad as we can, and we're still right here. Let's just clean it up and play some clean football, and I think it'll take care of itself. And, you know, that's what happened. We just cleaned up and didn't change anything, just took care of the ball a little better.
Yeah, I was going to ask you at halftime, what was the mood like in the locker room? I heard some things. I heard you gave them a pretty good talking, but
Yeah,
if you
you
could
know-
talk about what you shared with the team there at that Red Bank game.
You know, sometimes you got to get after the team to for focus. But I will say, most of the time with our kids, we've never had an effort issue, anything like that. So usually it's just, you know, I mean, you're obviously going to give them a good charge before you go back out there. So that was a little bit of it. But most of the time it's, you know, here's what we're doing wrong. Here's why we're not being successful. Here's what we got to do to fix it. You know, they're a little more athletic than we thought on the OLDL. So we got to attack them a little different in the way we're trying to block them and stick on them and, you know, make a few corrections and really that's it. You know, there's a lot of games you got to go in there and rip tail and get people fired up, but that's really not been this group. They're motivated. We got strong leaders, senior leadership, and a lot of underclassmen that play hard. So really most of the time is at halftime for us, it's all business. You know, here's where we're messing up. Here's what we got to do to fix it. Here's some adjustments we got to make as coaches, and let's go execute this. And they just did a great job of that.
Walter?
Coach, I thought you had tremendous depth throughout the season, and it helped you through those real close games against Ray County, Elizabeth, and then, of course, when you got over the hurdle with Greenville. And I thought those sort of things and having the schedule, the tremendous hard schedule you had, made it very difficult for other teams. In other words, you've seen those sort of tough opponents.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. We've had a lot of really good teams since I've been at Anderson County. We've had a lot of great players. This is by far the deepest team with talent that we've ever had. We've had players that are as good as anybody here and there at positions, but this team right here was good at every position, and some positions we were good 2 and 3 deep. It allowed us to practice better, you know, almost keeping skill players separate on DB and receiver. We had great practices, competitive practices. A lot of times we're getting better looks in practice than we were in games. And it was that allowed us to be a really complete team. You know, we didn't have any Band-Aids on the field in any position. So whether you're playing Powell or 6A Science Hill or Greenville or E-Town, you know, we could match up with anybody in different styles and different fashions, whether it was time we need to run. Bearden's really athletic. You're going to have to get downhill and attack, and we could do that, you know, with our OL and running backs and H-back guys. And then, you know, some teams that are loading the box with Walker and Bryson and Braden Miller and the rest of our receivers, we could take the top off. And so, you know, just whatever we needed, we had the tools at our disposal to be able to attack it, and the trigger guy to make all those things happen. The schedule itself is almost as impressive as the state championship. Really, I couldn't be prouder. I mean, the fact we won a state champion is just overwhelming, but to go 15-0 with that schedule is just it is amazing. I mean, you're talking about defending 5A state champs that went back to the semifinals and barely lost to Knox West. I think had a 99-yard pick six, or they'd been back again. You're talking about Science Hill that went to the quarterfinals or in 6A, and really out of all those teams, Elizabeth may be the best team we played all year. So there's just so many tough teams, having to find a way to get over each of them, different ways, different people stepping up each week to be the difference. It really speaks to the depth of this one team.
And you came back so many different times in a close situation to come from behind and do what you needed to do, never panicked and got it done.
Sure, and that goes a lot to these kids. a lot to the work we've put in over the years. Like you said, the depth, that's a huge thing. But not just the depth, but so many players that can just flat out play in the depth. If you go look at all them comebacks and all them big games, there's almost a different person that stepped up and was the difference in each of them. You know, there's obviously some constants where kids play good every week, but there's a different guy almost every game that comes out with either a big rushing game or a big receiving game or a big tackle game or interception for something like that. And that's really the sign of a good championship type team. But they've put a lot of time in. They're tight knit. But all the 7-on-7 they do, all the time they've put in for the last 4 years, they're extremely confident group. It ain't like we're down 21 to Elizabethton in the first half. We're down 21 to Ray County with 10 minutes to go in the game, where any of us feel like we can't win this game. You know, the kids ain't on the sideline panicking and this and that. We all feel the same way. You know, we're down because we haven't played clean football. If we can just clean that up, it's going to change quickly. And that was really the season. You know, there was times when we played clean, we were very, very impressive. We played really clean football against Powell and Science Hill and beat two of the best teams in Tennessee really bad.
Oh, yeah.
And we took care of the ball. We didn't have penalties. We didn't miss tackles, all them type things. And then other games against elite teams, we played sporadically how clean we were and, you know, nail-biter type games.
Exactly.
But when we play clean football, we're about as good as you could get in the state of Tennessee this year.
Coach, we had you in here to that Powell win in week 1 and really laid the wood to them, and had you guys in here, and we was talking about, well, win that gold ball,
Yeah.
be back in here.
Yeah.
And went perfect season, but you forgot the gold ball, Coach.
Yeah. I'm gonna blame that on Coach Chadwell if he's listening tonight.
I would love to have, I text Bradford, we come down, we're going to set that gold ball at, and they said, we put it on the front desk right here, and I said, I don't know if it'll fit. I don't know if it'll, where we set it.
You know, that gold ball's been on tour at Anderson County. It's been a few days with me and my family, and then come back, and I think administration, everybody's had it everywhere at Anderson County, and all the people that support us, it's made its tour, and GT's kept it for the last 3 weeks, just driving it around. And
that's what I was going to ask you.
And then Chadwell got it
GT.
from him. And I think Chadwell's sleeping with it right now. So hopefully we get it back from him. But, you know, our community's just been so great. And there's been so many players and coaches that have played over the years. And this championship has been a culmination of all that effort. Mm-hmm. You know, from when Coach Kerr was there, and the effort he put in and sparked guys like me and Chadwell and Coach Lambert and my brother and Sean Cross and all of us guys to want to get into coaches and finish this thing off and get where we are. It's been a long time coming. A lot of players over the years have poured into this program. The community's been hungry for it, but to see the excitement in our community leading into that championship game, and then how ecstatic they are that not just this team, but our program and their community got a championship. It has been humbling, and we've all been thankful to be a part of it.
You're you just have an outstanding program. You used to go back, you know, you mentioned Coach Kerr, and you can go back to Coach Mike Harmoning there, and then I think he was the second coach. Who was the first coach?
You know, I'm not sure. That was a little before my time.
A guy named Gibson, I think.
Yeah, that is right.
Yes.
I've heard that name.
Gibson there in the early 80s, and I think Coach Harmony took over there in the mid 80s, and had some really good teams there, you know, just building the program. And this,
you know, when it seemed like when Coach Kerr took over there in the early 90s, he had just won a state championship at Halls, and it brought a lot of excitement to the Anderson County community. And that's when I came in, and Jamie Chadwell and John Chadwell and Cross and a lot of us guys came in to be a part of that. And, you know, really it's just been, the program's been constantly climbing since then. But, Coach Kerr coached me and most of us guys, and Coach Deal, he was one of my coaches. He still works in the school system central office. But, I mean, that's what you think of when you think of Anderson County football. And all of us guys are tight. We're all like family. So, you know, again, all of us, we didn't feel like this championship was just for us. We felt like we were all part of that.
right. And just talk about the fan support, just really next level. I thought
Yeah.
it's just especially once the playoffs kicked in, but even before that, but just really just the fans and had the cowbells and just had it.
Yeah,
just, really,
from the first game, that PAL game, we were packed, and we've always got good fan support. But I don't know if it was excitement going into this year, or again, the whole program is a process. Every year, it's getting bigger, it's getting better. More work goes into it, more people are a part of it, more people make it special. So I'm not sure exactly why so early so much. It's a high-profile game with us and PAL, but it's standing room only, and it seemed like we had 6 home games in regular season and 3 more, so we got 9 home games this year. And man, they were all packed out. Everyone as good as the next, and we go to Red Bank and we got probably 3 times more people than they do there. It was just awesome, and that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to help mold young men to be good fathers and husbands and workers one day. But in the process, we want to give them a once-in-a-lifetime experience, something for them and our community to be proud of, and our community is a part of that, and it is just awesome to be a part of it. But the season was just great. Couldn't have went any better. It seemed like, you win these big games, and, man, it can't get any better than this. And next week's even better, and just all the way to the championship. But, going into that championship week, our elementary schools and middle schools and communities held parades for the kids. All the little kids made signs for them and had their cowbells and all these things. And, man, it was overwhelming how much support we had. And, even before the championship game, for me in the program, it was the best time of my life as far as football goes. It was just so humbling to see how many people that had poured into our kids and our program, teachers at the middle schools and elementary, seeing these guys that they'd helped become what they are and how much it meant to them. And I saw people, 60, 70-year-olds, just bawling their eyes out, just how excited they are for the kids in the program, and knowing what has went into this program to get it there. So it was overwhelming. And then, the championship game itself, we had as many people there for that game as I've ever seen a team have, and that's what I pictured would happen if Anderson County ever got there. And it was awesome. The fans hung around for hours after. We all took pictures with the ball. We came back, went to the parade.
That's what I was going to say. I thought that was really a great. Y'all came out to the parade, and
well, it was a blessing just that Sheriff Barker had made that special effort to get us out there. He realized how special it was for our community and our kids, and wanted to do his part to let the kids know that hey, this is a big deal. And so he got they held the parade up, and our bus flew there, and he got us escorts all the way from Raccoon Valley straight there, got us right to the front, and went through there. And that, again, special night. And then we go back to the field, and we got more parents and people waiting on us there to celebrate again. And then after that celebration's over, we still got people hung out for another 2 hours taking pictures. And those things may be once in a lifetime, and you don't want to rush through them. So next week, the boys, as a prize for winning the TWSAA, gives them tickets to the Titans game, and we got to go watch them play, and they recognize the boys and what they had done and that kind of thing. So it was a magical season. That last week was exceptionally magic here in our community, and the times after it, and the kind of the tour you take once you win it's just been a special time for the whole program.
we got a call. Let's go ahead and take it. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. First of all, congratulations for bringing a state championship back to Anderson County for all of us residents to enjoy. I did notice you had a young man on crutches there, so I hope his rehabilitation is coming along fine. And if you could, Coach, just talk a little bit about what you've got coming next year. And I know in watching the middle school team, it looks like you've got a horse coming in that Weber kid. And thank you for taking my call.
All right. Thank you for calling in.
Could you hear what he asked me?
He's talking about next year and season, what you had coming back, and also what you got coming in.
From
mentioned
the middle school. Okay. Yeah, we do lose a lot. Probably the thickest senior class we've had since I've been here. as far as, I'm not sure if we got 19 on the team. And we've had 19 before, but I think all 19 of these guys play and are really important on the field. Usually a rural school like ours, you may cycle anywhere from 12 to 19 kids, and out of the number, 50 to 60% of them are your players. This group was, we got a lot of underclassmen to play, but 99% of these guys are on the field doing the work. So we do lose a lot of them. It's going to be hard to replace some of these guys. But we got a lot. We got a lot coming back. I think our O-line, which really was awesome this year. I think we controlled the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, in every game we played, even against the 6A teams and the 5A teams, which was a big step for us. And that really is what allowed us to finally get over the hump with the Greenville and Elizabethans. They've been more physical than us for the last 6 years, and we won that battle. I think we're going to be possibly better than ever up front next year. Nick Moog, one of our star running backs, had a just fabulous year, rushed for around 1,400 yards. He'll be back. We do got a lot of young receivers that rotated in all year. They weren't the primaries, but they're really talented kids. They got a lot of reps. We think they're going to all be good too. So we got a lot coming back. It'll be more of a typical year. We ain't going to have 19 seniors and 3 deep at the receiver slots. We're going to be, 7 or 8 receivers that are going to play most of the time. They're all really good kids we feel about. O-line's going to be rock solid. I think the tailback's going to be next level good. And then we got a backup kid. His dad played with me, Curtis LaRue's son, and I think he clocked like a 4.40 at UT last summer. He can fly. So it'll be, the one thing about high school, and especially in a rural school, we won't look like the same offense. It'll, Walker Martinez is a once-in-a-lifetime kid, and we build on his skill set and build on these receiver skill sets. So it may have a little different tweak to it, but we'll be solid. We'll be fighting there with Greenville and Elizabeth in round 2 and 3, and I don't know where that's going to go right now. As far as those incoming kids, we got a good class. Weber kid's a stud. He's been coming. He works out with my little boy some. He's grown probably 4 inches since the season. He looks really good. And the Hackney kid's another receiver, probably 6'1" already. Those guys are. They got a deep class too, and they got some good linemen coming in with them. So.
Richie
Coach No and Coach Moog do such a good job there, and they've been with me. They've been there almost as long as I've been at AC, and we've worked hand in hand. And that's what I was saying about our program that's so unique and different in other places. It's a lot bigger than me. It's a lot bigger than my staff. Coach No, Coach Moog. Right now I got Eric Tackett at Lake City, but all the guys that have been there, we've worked together. Shane Lambert at Nagaf, and Seidner at Lake City. We're all working together to try and build something special, and so he's helped me bring a lot of kids in, and they do a good job. They had a good season last year, so hopefully that just continues to go that direction. I don't see any of that changing anytime soon.
Locker room chat, you're on the air. Locker room chat, you're on the air. Go ahead, caller.
I saw your story there, and I was just seeing how number 75 was doing in the season. About playing next year.
Would you go ahead and repeat that?
I was curious about your young man there in the corrections. Hello? Yes, I was wondering about but I was hoping to see how he was doing as far as his injury goes, and what you think about his playing for next year if he's going to be able to play.
Wondering about
I was trying to see about your buddy there in the crutches and see how he's feeling and see what you perceive, how he feels about playing for next year.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Okay, we hear you good now.
Yeah, Grayson, a tackler in the Red Bank game going for Gavin, dove at him, and I think Gavin jumped him, and he ended up hitting Grayson in the knee. And so we lost, one of our top players going into that championship game. Eli Nelson stepped in for him and filled in and did a great job. But, Grayson was up for lineman of the year in our region. He's, top-notch lineman. And, he's, I guess, about a month out of surgery, but, I would fully predict a 100% full recover for him. And, he'll be one of those guys we're leaning on heavily that I think we could have, maybe best O-line we've had. He's really the engine behind the machine there.
Another call coming in. Locker room chat. You're on the air with head coach Davey Gillum.
Well, first, Coach, just want to say congratulations. And just had a quick question about next year's schedule. I know you got a couple new teams on there, so I'll hang up and listen.
Okay. Schedule-wise, thanks for the congratulations, first of all, but I don't have schedule in front of me. I know it's tough. We picked up, we did lose Elizabethton. That was a game we both never wanted to have to play to begin with. But it's hard to do scheduling, especially when you only got a 5 or 6 team region. If you're one of the more successful programs, nobody wants to schedule up or even. Everybody tries to schedule down. So we've really had trouble scheduling for the last, decade almost. And so we were kind of forced, us and Elizabeth, and we were left with 9 games to have to play the year before. But we were able to work it out this year. We didn't have to play each other, so that was more of a mutual thing. And then us and Ray County couldn't get worked out again as far as weeks. We tried to get Alcoa worked in. Oh, there we go. Thank you. But we couldn't get that worked out as far as weeks we had open and weeks they had open. So us and Powell really, that game's went back and forth for 20-something years now. It's just a great rivalry for both communities. They got a good football school. They get really excited. So we'll probably be keeping that going as long as Coach Lowe's still there. And so that was a no-brainer for both of us to pick back up. It's going to be a tough game. I'm not sure what all they got coming. I know they've lost a lot of their, 4-star, 5-star type guys. I'm not sure what they got coming back, but that'll be a tough game for us. Then we go right to Science Hill. That's a big game. 6A program. I think they were young last year. They felt like they were young, so they're a very good team. 2 platoon, 100-something kids. That'll be a tough one. So, we're starting out really tough right there, and then you got Bearden. A lot of people are predicting Bearden to be the new Maryville. A lot of kids are coming in that program, and a lot of top-notch kids, and I've heard of some really special kids that may be there right now that weren't there last year that going to make it tough. I think, we'll match up with them, just because our physical nature gives us a good angle in that game. But, we've got a long way to go to find out who we are. It's not plug and play. These seniors right here, losing to Walker, Martinez, Bryson, Val, we'll put good players in, but those are generational type kids, and Gavin know that you just don't replace. So we got a long way to go before we know who we are. And then, region play, Fulton, Seymour, Carter, Gibbs, and South Dual. I feel real good about that. I think all of them are going to be in a similar case they were. I feel strongly about us being able to compete for our 7th region title. Then we picked up Clinton. We hadn't played them in a couple of years. Really don't know a whole lot about them right now. I know they had a good year this year, and I know Keith Kidd's a good football player, and the running back's a good football player, but really haven't got to see them play, just have heard. And then I do know a lot about Knox West. I know Coach Lamar Brown pretty well. That's going to be a tough one. He lost some players, but they're returning most of that defense, and that's why they're as good as they are. Yeah. So I know we'll be battle tested come playoffs. The negative is we don't have the depth we had this year, so we need to stay healthy. We can't. We lost some kids here and there. Gavin, one of the best players we've ever had, really wasn't healthy till about playoffs this year. Bryson Val was in and out with pulled hamstring throughout the season. Clayton missed a game late in the year. So, but we had enough depth to, to beat some really good teams, a few men down. So I don't know that we'll be in that category again to have that kind of depth. But I think we're going to have a good year. But it's, you can't look at any of these games coming in and say, hey, you're going 10-0. But I'll be honest, I didn't look at last year's schedule and say, I think, hey, we're going 10-0. I did think we're going to fight for a state championship, but I thought that was going to be easier than going 10-0 in that schedule. So
It's hard to do any year.
It is.
Certainly, and you got some good non-conference, non-region opponents on there as well. So another competitive schedule for the Mavericks to defend state champions. We need to go ahead and take our first break of the night. You want to take this next call? Okay. Locker room chat, you're on the air.
Hey, Davey, how about talking a little bit about your coaching staff? I was very impressed with them this year, and I like your communication with your administration, your athletic director, yourself, and talk a little bit about working from on top of the booth. They really, the state championship game put the film on you several times. And I'll hang up and listen to you. Thanks.
well, thanks, Dale. That's Dale Isabel. He's been with our program longer than I have. He's been our stat guy and his family. They do a great job for us. Another just earmark of our Anderson County program. So he was good friends with Coach Kerr and instrumental in bringing him in. And so me and his sons played together when I was there. But, we are blessed. And again, not trying to build the program like on me or my name or anything like that. We're trying to get good people in there. And that's really been the mark for our whole Anderson County school, starting at the top with our principal, Ben Downs. He is a first-class guy, a good man. Him and Travis Freeman and Chambers and Jenny Irwin, just top-notch people, people just down to earth, and they care about our kids and program. And not many people, when they're running off the field for a state championship, I'm having to run down from the box or getting met by their principal sprinting 100 yards to pick you up and tackle you. I mean, he's as invested in our team and program as I am, so it's just it's a wonderful atmosphere. Not a lot of people enjoy going to work, but I do. My best friends are there. I work for them, work with them. My coaching staff, I couldn't ask for a whole lot more. We did have some coaching turnover in the off season. We hated to lose anybody, but the guys that came in did a great job. A lot of people know Coach Terry, and probably a lot of people know him more as the AD, but he's been with me coaching since I got there, and he was an assistant football coach a long time before they made him an AD title. So he does them both, but what he does for our program, he did it a long time before people knew about us getting, turf and jumbotron. He's just a worker, just gets after it, and he does a lot of things nobody sees, working at the field house, those type of things. He's been working with me, raising money, building infrastructure in the community, and those type things that are really the infrastructure for where the program is today. We didn't get 19 seniors that can play, just luckily. That's something we've been working and building for, 14 years now, and he's been there with me behind the scenes working with kids on SAQ and things like that. And then, Coach Chadwell, a lot of people heard me talk about Coach Chadwell before, but he's really one of the best coaches in the state of Tennessee, maybe the country. X's and O's, all them type things. His brother's the head coach at Liberty now, and he spent a lot of time with Jamie, but the time he puts in to our kids, I mean, he could coach college, he could be making money, he could easily be with Jamie if he wanted to, but he does care about our kids and our community, and I think he feels like he's got a ministry and he's got a purpose where he's at, and I'm thankful for that because we're fortunate to have him. I'm fortunate to have him. But the things he does to prepare our kids, most NFL people don't get. I mean, he's the packets they get, the online Google Classroom stuff. I mean, if these kids don't even put any effort, they can basically go in and press play, and he's got stuff programmed that simulates the game for them, every possible scenario for their job and their assignments. It's next level stuff, and so our kids in our program have really been fortunate. But on top of that, he's just a good man, good Christian man, pours into our kids, build relationships, selflessly gives on the weekends and through the week working with kids. So it's all them type things that have really worked together to get the program where it is. And then you got my brother, he's been there with me the whole time, and everybody's got their own little niche they bring outside the field itself, but his relationship with Lansing Hill and Pyro Shows is another little tweak or something off the wall that adds a lot to the Anderson County culture. And it's a special place on Friday night for a lot of reasons, but those fireworks are a big part of it, and it helps us generate atmosphere. It helps us, even when we were at Scott County doing those things, it helps us communicate to the kids that what they're doing is important, their time's important, their investment's important, and it's worth paying for. It's worth doing great things for, and all them things. That mindset's just bled over to where we are. But we got so many coaches. Coach Craig in the weight room, just given a lot of time to get where we are. Coach Cotton with our linebackers, Coach Cross, another guy that played with me, and Coach Chadwell, Coach Russ played for Coach Kerr, coaching with our linebackers. We're getting to the point now that we're getting some guys that we coach coming back and helping us. Brandon Ford, he was helping Bearden last year. Now he's back with us, and he's a guy that I'd coached, graduated in 2014, was a really good receiver in DB. Now he's back helping coach, and that's a rewarding thing as a coach and a community guy when your guys start coming back and coaching, and they're good men and good to kids and that kind of thing. And another young guy, Vance Barrier, just started back with us, just excited and intense, guy that played for me. We brought on Aaron St. Clair. He was at Central. He was there when they won 2 championships, and we're kind of helping grooming him to be the OC and waiting kind of thing, but he's up in the box with me and just does a really good job seeing things and giving me a lot of information. But I know I'm leaving people out. We end up having 15, 18 coaches. Coach Griff, Coach Braden, I can't believe I forgot Coach Braden. Coach Braden, Anthony Braden, he's been with me from the day one when I got to Anderson County. Just selfless guy, works at the fire department. So his schedule, he has to miss like about once a week to be there because he works 24-hour shift. But just the big thing is all these guys care about the kids and community and pour in. And everybody's got different roles and different niches that they bring to the program, but they're all huge. But he is right. I did have to go in the box this year. One of the reasons is I got Coach Chadwell and Coach Terry, but we brought Coach Lambert in. Another blessing, I'd heard Coach Lambert took a job at Knox Catholic, and we didn't think he belonged over there. And so I just called him and said, Coach, what are you doing there? You need to come back home. Right. And he said, well, I'm going to pray about it. And I said, okay, well, I will too. I said, no pressure, but we'd like you to come back home. We think we're going to make a run this year, and we'd like you to be a part of it and that kind of thing. And it came in the spring practice. He came, and it's just like family. We didn't have to work him back in or get him comfortable. He stepped right back in, and he does a great job just building relationships with kids and being another football guy that's just there all the time. And because there's no way to shortchange this if you're a football coach. It's just a lot of hours, and so if you're trying to be the last one in, the first one out, I'll just say you're not a very good football coach. It's just the job requires more, and he's another one of those guys. He's there all the time and puts the time necessary in and that kind of thing. So we were fortunate to get him back, but having him and John and GT all on the sideline, it ain't like I have to worry about sideline management or anything like that with me being in the box. And that's usually, I think, the scare with a guy having to go in the box. I don't necessarily like being up there, but as much as we throw and complex as some of the things we do are, it's hard to get a good vision of that from the sideline. I can feel most of the run game from the sideline, but I can't really see the pass game from the sideline. Coach Chadwell can get a real good feel, him and Russ, on the field in the run game. But even with that being said, I can see a lot more in techniques and things from the box, and that, along with our replay system of being able to sit there and break things down between series, was really helpful. And then my young guys relaying information to my quarterback and receivers and O-line. So, when I find out what the problem is and what we got to fix, talking whether it's Coach Russ and with the linemen and getting things fixed with them, and Coach Ford and Coach Braden with the receivers, or getting Walker on there. Just communications were good, and we did do some good things as far as play call and schematics, and played some really clean football at times. But it's just a credit to the whole staff. Everybody's bringing in value, and everybody knew what their roles were, and then the big thing is you got players that can do it.
Right. You got to have the.
We got some good
Jimmys
players
and
right
Joes,
now.
don't
Yeah, we get a lot of credit, and our guys work hard, and we're thankful for them. But I'll be honest, I've been a good coach for a while, and we ain't won one of these. At the end of the day, we got a lot of good players right now.
You certainly do a great job, and your staff as well. So we're going to go ahead and take our first break tonight, and be right back to visit some of these state champion Mavericks. So stick around. You're watching the Locker Room Chat.
Sorry I'm late. It's been a long day turning Rex into checks. Hey, why are the Ice Bears in the kitchen cooking dinner?
Oh, hey Tim.
How's it
Welcome
going?
home.
You've been so busy icing the insurance company. They're here to remind you it's hockey season.
Hey Tim, can you pass me the ketchup?
Sure.
Thanks.
No problem.
Hey Tim, do you want a burger?
I do.
Medium well?
Yes. Well, that's how the Ice Bears roll.
Shot by Timo, bam, he scores!
Alexander Guesthouse Senior Living is Oak Ridge's secret to senior care. Our all-inclusive assisted living and memory care offers 24-hour care, medication management, laundry services, housekeeping services, and assistance with activities of daily living. At Alexander, we treat your loved ones like our loved ones. Our Jackson Suites are $2,000 a month. To schedule a tour, give us a call at 865-294-5489. Alexander Guesthouse, Oak Ridge's secret to senior care.
There's a lot of talk about the risks associated with the COVID-19 vaccine, but the reality is, it's safer than being tackled by a Tennessee Titan. Give it a shot. Find a free vaccine appointment today at covid19.tn.gov.
I'm Amanda, one of the RN shift leaders at Rome Medical Center. I love the sense of community that we have here. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced, and that's why I choose Rome Medical Center.
I choose Rome Medical Center because this is where my heart is. My family and friends use Rome Medical Center, and I want everyone that comes through our doors to have an experience that makes them as proud of Rome Medical Center as I am.
Find out why Roane Medical Center is the best choice for your future in healthcare. Learn more at roanemedicalcenter.com.
Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman is East Tennessee's best choice for pre-owned vehicle sales and service. Earl Duff is a name you know and trust, and we have been meeting the automotive needs of Roane and surrounding counties for over 49 years. Shopping with us is easy, and we treat our customers like family. From sales to finance to service, we're your one-stop shop for everything automotive. Don't settle for less with your next pre-owned vehicle purchase. Come to Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman or online at duffpreowned.com.
RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We'll buy it on the spot and we'll pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. Rome Metals will treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Harriman and Rockwood.
Welcome back into the Locker Room Chat. And we're visiting with head coach of the Anderson County Mavericks, the state champion Anderson County Mavericks, Davey Gillum. And once again, Davey, thank you for being here. And we was talking off there, everything you've been doing since you won the state. And you've been a whirlwind.
It has. It's been a good whirlwind, but it's been exhausting.
Right, and that's for the kids. You said a lot of things you did.
Yeah, going to that Titans game and thing, I think a lot of us were just gassed and wanted to take a nap, but you don't get these opportunities every day, so we're trying to make the most out of them.
We're going to chat. We got another call. Let's take it. Locker room chat, you're on the air.
John, it's your favorite AD.
Coach T, what's up there, Gary?
How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. Great to see you guys up there. Great to see Coach Gillum on TV as always. Love watching him here. You guys did a great job. Thanks for having us on, having our kids on. I'm excited to see their interviews. I know they're going to be a treat. They're an interesting group of characters, and we're gonna really get to enjoy some fun times with them here momentarily, I can assure you.
So congratulations on the state championship, Coach Terry.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We've had some unbelievable groups of kids come through there. So much fun. Some really talented groups. Some really great football teams. And I was going to ask Coach Gillum to talk a little bit about, he mentioned a little bit about, Saturday mornings. We've been doing Saturday morning training for young kids for a long time. He's been leading that, and he kind of put that together, and we've been doing that for a long time. And this group right here were probably 4, 5, 6 years old when they started coming on Saturdays to our speed and agility training on Saturday mornings, and watching them grow up through that program and watching them develop their athletic skills and get used to the coaching that we were given and the verbiage that we were saying, those type things, and to see them do what they did and see the fruits of their labor come to be because of the work that they put in since they were, just little bitty kids. And I can remember some of them, when they were just, tiny and could barely jump over a dummy. And they wanted to, and they kept coming every Saturday. And we had to kick them out of there a few times to get them to leave because they wanted to stay, and they were having fun doing it. And then to watch them grow and watch them be the young men that they are right now is it's a real testimony to what Coach Gillum put together in 2009 when he came there. And, it continues on today with little kids. We're going to start that again here in the next few weeks on Saturdays, and to watch those little guys come through there and be excited about our program and to stay with it and grow up in our program is real fun and real testimony to what Coach Gillum and our staff has put together. It's been a lot of fun.
Did you start that, the speed camp and came in?
I did. I think I got there in 2009, and then again, my focus really is community and trying to be able to build relationships in the community and minister to our kids, our community, and it's hard to make a difference in kids' lives if you don't invest time and build relationships with them. And at the same time, on the football end, you're trying to do something that helps them. So we started doing SAQ, speed, agility, quickness training on Saturdays. I think originally we started on like Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and it's just hard to keep up that schedule. And so I think we ended up narrowing it down after a couple of years, just Saturday mornings. But we've been doing it about 14 years, and it's got to the point now we've seen kids, like I've personally got pictures of every one of these guys when they're 4, 5, 6 years old. And I remember like Braden Miller standing there. I've got pictures of him when he's in 5th, 6th grade, chubby little guard, and now he's a 1,000-yard receiver. So, that's the beauty of being in a high school and community. I say things like family, but I'm not just saying it. We are. I probably spend more time with these kids than uncles and things like that. So a lot of them are like my kids, and so it's extra special when I get to see them win a championship and get to do great things and that type of thing. But it's been a big investment, but it ain't one that we belabor or sorry about. We enjoy it, putting into the kids, and almost all the kids that play for us are kids that have been coming to SAQ and stuff since they were little. Not that you hold it against them. I'm just saying that our numbers now at Anderson County are not dramatically different than they were when I played there. You're talking roughly in the 60s and 70s. We may fluctuate a year up to the 80s or 90s, but for the most part, we're in the 60s and 70s. I think we took 62 to the state championship. Probably had 65 on the team when I played there. When I first got there, we had those same numbers, and on a Friday night, we played 14 kids the whole time, because that's just your starters were way up here and your twos were way down there. And through things like SAQ and like Coach No and Moog pushing kids to different aspects of training and camps and us all working together, our numbers are still the same, still same kids, same community, but now we're playing 35 kids. And they can play. You know, they're getting their skill development, they get their training and all them type things that they need from a young age. They're not having to go pay some. I mean, some of them may want to do some extra on the side, but you ain't got to go pay somebody $70 an hour to train you. You know, that's what we're here for, and we work with them, and it's turned over in our program. And you know, that kind of infrastructure is really the main reason the program's where it's at. But it is a big investment. You know, as a head coach, it's a little easier, but when you got other guys on your staff like Coach Terry and John and people like that, volunteering their free time away from their family, and to come in and do those things, that's a big deal.
Coach Terry, heard you've been riding around with that gold ball.
Yeah, it's been on tour around Anderson County right there. You know, a lot of folks pour into our program, pour into our school, people in the community, businesses, people that are Anderson County graduates, people that aren't Anderson County graduates but that have a business around our school, that support our school. You know, they're all a big piece of it and a big part of it, folks. You know, I just think it's important that we go out and celebrate them, you know, celebrate the championship with them. And I said it at the county commission meeting that this is for all of Anderson County, and it is. Folks that love these kids and show up on Fridays, and you know, they buy the banners, they support these kids. Every time we reach out and say, hey, we're doing a jumbotron, hey, we're doing a new field turf, we're going to put a new indoor building in soon. And when we reach out to folks, they respond in a positive manner, and they believe in what Coach Gillum and our staff has put together. They believe in Mr. Downs and the program that we have at our school and what we're providing for kids. And they always answer the bell when we ring it.
Coach Terry, appreciate you calling. We're just going to get here with these kids. Hoping we can stay on to 9:30 tonight so we can talk to them. But
you'll get a show out of that group right there, I promise you.
Certainly will. And
they're a live wire. They got. It's funny. Some of them are younger brothers. Some of the ones that come through there. And like I said, it's been real fun to watch these kids grow up and to watch their families and be with their families these last few years. And like I said, it's and some of them got little brothers coming, so we're excited about all these kids and all the things that they're doing. And like I said, this group right here, they've been a real treat to have, and you'll see their skill set here in just a few moments as you put them on TV.
All right, Coach Terry, congratulations once again.
Thank you. Appreciate all you do for high school football.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, let's talk to these young men here. Mr. Miller, come up and just how did it feel to win that state championship?
Felt nice. I mean, it don't get much better than going 15-0 and winning the state championship game. I mean, plus doing it with all your best friends growing up, it really doesn't get much better than that.
And what's some of the, besides winning the state, what was some of the highlights for you this season and the team?
Personally, I guess probably Science Hill, 4 touchdowns, and probably got 5, but we don't want to talk about that. So, but that, and then probably starting off the year, first game, playing PAL, and just kind of setting the tempo for the year that game. So.
And who would you say the toughest team you played?
Elizabethton for sure. Hadn't played them twice. Definitely tested us, and because I mean the first game we had to come back because we were down, and then the second game it was the opposite. So it just kind of it was a test both times.
And what's your plans after graduation?
Not for sure yet. I've had a couple opportunities to play college football. I haven't really committed anywhere yet or decided if I want to for sure yet, but that's something I'll talk to my family about and pray about and just think about.
And you'd like to give a shout out?
Shout out to my dad and his gravy and biscuits. He loves those, so I'm going to shout that out. And then I'm going to shout out to my mom because she got mad last time. So, yeah, that's about it.
Okay, well, thank you. Congratulations. What we got next? Walker Martinez and Walter.
Coach, Coach, well, you may be a coach in the future.
Coach on the field.
Right. Are you still planning on going to Ole Miss, or how did that work out?
No, sir. There's a couple of different schools I've narrowed it down to, but Ole Miss is not one of them. I'd rather go somewhere where I can play and have a chance to play maybe earlier rather than later and have to earn a spot.
Well, tell us about your thoughts about this wonderful season and what has happened to you. And you've had a storybook career at Anderson County.
Yes, sir. It's just been a blessing, This season's just been everything I could ever dream it to be. And we've had so many guys around me and the team and the coaches and everybody in the community that just was able to make it happen. And just so many parts of the puzzle, I guess you could say, that really made this work.
What was your biggest memory or best memory from this season? Of course, winning the state championship, but did any particular play or anything stand out?
There's a lot of them for sure. Too many just to think about. But I don't know. There's something about beating Greenville that's just very special to me and all of us that I'll never forget that for sure. It was just an amazing win, and it was awesome.
And good job on nearly winning the championship as far as being the player of the year.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
And Walker, who would you say your toughest opponents was this year?
Toughest opponent, as a team-wise, it's got to be Elizabethton, but as a quarterback, it's probably, either Red Bank or Pearl Cone. They're great athletes on the perimeter, and they'd switch things up here and there. That's made it tough on me, but we played a lot of good teams this year, so it's kind of hard to just choose one.
And you know where you're going to continue your football career at on the next level yet?
No, sir. I'm probably going to decide here in a couple weeks. There's probably about two or three schools I've narrowed it down to. Here, probably around mid-January, I'll have a decision.
Okay. All right, go ahead and give us a shout-out.
I got to shout out my grandmother. I went to her house every morning on game day for breakfast, and it was precious and awesome. So game day breakfast is what we called it. So, yeah.
What'd you call it, you said?
Game day breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome, yeah. All right, well, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
And who's this? I don't recognize him.
It's a new transfer.
Bryson Val. Bryson, congratulations on the state championship. And other than winning this, tell us what it felt like to win that state championship.
It was a surreal moment. Till this day, it still doesn't feel real that we won it. Having to going through YouTube and you see the highlights of us winning it, it still don't feel real.
Mm-hmm. And you also had an outstanding game in the All-Star game the following week. I think you was MVP for your East All-Stars, I guess. And just talk about playing with all those other All-Stars.
It was a fun experience to get to meet other people, and having head coach Gillum and then my starting quarterback, it definitely helped a lot in the All-Star game, to him throwing me the ball and him calling the plays.
Mm-hmm. Walter?
Tell us about, I guess you had a super game in the state championship game, but what did that overall feel like as a ball player and being in the 15th game of the year and going from there?
It felt great because, the night before the championship, you're sitting there going through all the plays and going through the game all night through your head, and then to be able to go out there and go through all those plays that you did through your head the night before, it just feels great.
And where you plan on playing ball next year?
I signed my NLI to Murray State in Kentucky.
Well, certainly congratulations on that. You've had a great year.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Bryson, what was the highlight for you individually, not counting the state or All-Star game? What would you say?
Highlight for me was just being able to practice on scout team running back and being able to smash some heads back here on Gavin and Eli. They didn't want to meet me through the hole, and that was pretty much my highlight. Fun experience to play scout team running back.
You did that this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I know you're going to Murray State, and what are you planning on majoring in?
It's either going to be business or broadcasting. Business side, I kind of want to get into like the NILs and the agencies for college athletes and pro athletes, and broadcasting just something like this. I'd like to broadcast games and stuff like that.
And who do you like in the upcoming national championship game?
I'm hoping that TCU wins it, but I could see Georgia pulling a back-to-back.
And okay, Bryson, let's go ahead and give a shout out.
Shout out to Mom, Dad, Puppy, Ranger, Coach Sinclair, Coach Ford, Coach Braden, and my sister Massabel.
All right, thank you. Congratulations. And who's this young man walking up here? You didn't place the bet like Bryson did as far as getting the haircut.
No, I decided to take the smart route and keep my hair. They don't look very good, so I decided to stay.
You might have to cut it here pretty soon. We're going to the Naval Academy.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that. But, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Whatever. Happens.
Well, Gavin, just talk about winning that state championship. What's that feel like?
All the lights on the camera and all the action. It was just so exciting to get to go up there and play. And, we walked into the stadium and it was just very surreal. I was on the field probably an hour and a half before the game even started, just walking around. Looking up at my mom was already in the crowd because she rode with my dad. She didn't have on-field passes though. Her and Trey and Jackson aren't that cool, so they had to sit in the stands. So it was kind of funny looking at them. So it was just a very surreal moment. It was just really cool.
A lot of emotion there. It was a great picture of you. I think with the coach. What coach was that you was with in that picture?
Coach Russ.
He was shedding some tears, I believe. One of your coaches there, I saw a picture, but.
Well, I give Coach Russ a hug after every game. He's my favorite Gillum brother. He's just awesome,
You're number 3 on the nose for me too.
That's not very nice.
You come from a legacy with your dad, Richie, and I know he's proud of you, and your brothers as well played before you, and I know you have to be really, just really happy to bring a state championship back to not only to your family but the whole Anderson County community.
Yeah, I came home and there was a big poster on my garage from my grandmom, so that was pretty cool. Honestly, the best player in my family, it's not me. It has to be my Uncle Rod. He's just nasty on the field. He played all sorts of positions. Just crazy.
Walter?
I know I was quite amazed with your ability to play through your injuries that you had this year and to keep coming back and playing what you could until you got completely well. That showed true grit and determination I don't see very often.
I appreciate that. Yeah, part of our therapy, me and Coach Gillum, we got on it. It was just coming back slowly. It was a game barely. I played the last half of the game the whole time. The first half, I was in and out the whole time with injury marker Davis. And that was just part of my therapy. Every time it started to hurt, I just thought about my buddy Bryson Rao. I was going to do the same thing. He's a lot tougher than I am, obviously, so I just got to do what you got to do. Every time I saw him go to the field, I was like, yeah, that's my teammate right there.
And you're heading to Navy?
Yes, sir.
Certainly, congratulations on that. Also, on a personal note, I had your mom in typing years upon years ago, and she was one fine lady.
Was she a good student?
Yes, I was a decent student. She always was.
You have my.
Telling me to do this, telling me to do that. I was okay.
She was the teacher.
Yeah, she was the teacher.
Yeah, Jane, no. Oh,
yeah.
That must have been rough.
Oh, his grandmother. Yeah.
I hope I said grandmother. That's what I was meaning.
Yeah, did you ever get to paddle? She has a big paddle. She's very proud of it.
No, I didn't get paddled, thank goodness.
Yeah, one time she paddled Tim Elrod. They still talk about the earthquake in Mexico. So.
But she was a good teacher. I liked her.
She tried to teach me how to type one time. I couldn't do it. She was too hard on me. So I gave up. That's just how we roll.
Yeah, I used to have her too, and I remember she had a George Foreman doll too. She'd get out and little puppet doll. She's probably still got that.
Hey, she's very intense about her typing and her first-hand typewriter. You know, that's very important to her.
Does she still have a typewriter at home she uses?
I don't think she uses it, but I bet we could find one in there. You know, she
Yeah.
definitely could teach me some lessons on the typing because I'm not very good at it.
Well, talk about going to Navy. I know the Navy coach, I can't pronounce his name, but he got fired there at the end of the season. They lost to Army, and what's your thoughts on that?
Nothing really changed for me. I mean, Coach Ingram came in, the offensive line coach. He talked to me and Davey, and he just said, you know, situation's just the same, and they're going to bring up their defensive coordinator as the head coach. And obviously, when I met Coach Ken, he was a great guy, but you know, the program did what they thought they had to do. So, you know, it didn't change me as a player. I knew the defensive coordinator. He's a really great guy, and they also brought in an offensive coordinator today or yesterday, and he's from Kennesaw State, and they run this a similar offense. So, you know, I'm pretty excited. You know, it would be kind of cool to be a part of a change.
And when do you have to report?
I think I-Day is June 24th, or at least it was last year. So I think late June for sure.
What do you plan on majoring in there at Navy?
Yeah, I watched Top Gun and I decided I wanted to fly planes. But I think my eyesight is too bad for that, so I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'll find something to do, surely.
Right, I'm sure you will. And
are you going to be on offense or defense, did you say?
Right now they're saying offense, but I know how some of that stuff goes. You know, my brother and Ryan moved. They went to Davidson and they switched 4 or 5 times before they ended up at the position that they're at.
Gavin, congratulations and on winning the state championship, also MVP, the Blue Cross Bowl. I know you're very humble and couldn't do it without your teammates. And before you go, just go ahead and give a shout out there to all your family and fans, I'm sure, out there watching.
I got to give a shout out to Colton and Riley. Colton got mad at me because I didn't shout him out last time, so I'll give him that one. And Rosalind and Grandmom and my mom and my dad.
Okay. Well, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
And right next, Eli Davis.
Yes, sir.
And Eli, congratulations. And boy, you had the big hit of the playoffs, right, Coach?
Yeah. I hear almost every day about. They thought that was the play that really sent the game spiraling for Greenville.
Certainly did. And let's go ahead and talk about that big hit.
Well, it's basically guard down, tackle out. I just saw green grass and I filled it come through there. And luckily my helmet was on the right side of the ball and it just popped loose.
And it was all AC after that. And but just talk about winning the state. Just talk about your feelings of that one.
It was a surreal feeling after we knew we won. After Bryson got that big pick, you could hear the crowd roar. It gave me chill bumps every time I go back and watch it. It's been a dream of mine to win a state championship ever since I was a kid. So it's an awesome feeling to have.
What's some of the highlights for you personally this year? Not only the state, but just what would be some of the highlights you look back on this year?
Probably my big hit at Greenville, and then probably the safety I had at Elizabethan the second time we played them. It didn't really seal the game, but it kind of changed the tone of it. I mean, it was pretty late in the game, so it was a big play for me. And then probably scoring a touchdown in the state championship game is probably my best one.
And that was a great play call, Coach.
I'd been trying to get it in for a few plays, but Russ kept trying to talk me out of it. So I finally got it in through my brother and the rest of them over there.
And Walter?
Tell us about what made you think as a player that you could get to the state championship game, or what was the turning point? Was it Greenville or Elizabethton, or what particular game?
Well, we knew we'd make a run through the whole year. We knew we had the potential to do so. We just had to go out and prove it to everybody and to ourselves. But after we beat Greenville, we knew we had one of the better shots we've had in the past couple of years. So, that's pretty much the...
And what are your plans after college? Or after high school, I should say.
I haven't decided yet. I don't know if I'm going to play college ball or just be a student.
What are you laughing about?
And
Idiots.
so I guess it's a surreal feeling winning the state championship. I guess you haven't come down from cloud 9 yet.
No, still up there.
Certainly, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Eli, I know you come from Kingston, and just talk about what it's like playing at Anderson County. Just talking about.
Oh, it's a lot different from Kingston, I'll tell you that. Fireworks. That's what made me want to come up here when I was a freshman. Fireworks, the masks, everything. The greatest show on turf. So as a freshman, you see that and all the different jersey combinations. You want to come try it for yourself. But it's like a family up here, like Coach Gillum said. So it's been a really amazing experience for me.
I know you're a pretty good baseball player. You plan on playing again this year?
I haven't decided yet. I'm not sure.
He's a catcher, aren't you?
Catcher, yeah.
Uh-huh. So, okay. Well, let's go ahead and give a shout out there.
Shout out to my mom, my dad, my brother. He's probably eating pickles right now. And
what grade's he in?
He's going into 8th grade.
Okay. Does he play football?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Eating pickles, is he?
Yeah, he likes pickles.
Okay.
All right.
Eli, thank you. Right now we're going to go ahead and take another break. We'll wrap it up. We got Boog here leading off the next set. So we'll go ahead and take a break. So stick around and watching Locker Room Chat.
If you've been injured in an accident, let OEB Law fight for you. We will fight the insurance companies every step of the way. Call OEB Law today and turn your wreck into a check.
I choose Rome Medical Center because this is where my heart is. My family and friends use Rome Medical Center, and I want everyone that comes through our doors to have an experience that makes them as proud of Rome Medical Center as I am. I'm Nancy Easter, Manager of Materials at Rome Medical Center, and I'm so happy to work for an employer that values me and makes me feel appreciated.
Find out why Roan Medical Center is the best choice for your future in healthcare. Learn more at roanmedicalcenter.com.
Alexander Guesthouse Senior Living is Oak Ridge's secret to senior care. Our all-inclusive assisted living and memory care offers 24-hour care, medication management, laundry services, housekeeping services, and assistance with activities of daily living. At Alexander, we treat your loved ones like our loved ones. Our Jackson Suites are $2,000 a month. To schedule a tour, give us a call at 865-294-5489. Alexander Guesthouse, Oak Ridge's secret to senior care.
Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman is East Tennessee's best choice for pre-owned vehicle sales and service. Earl Duff is a name you know and trust, and we have been meeting the automotive needs of Roane and surrounding counties for over 49 years. Shopping with us is easy, and we treat our customers like family. From sales to finance to service, we're your one-stop shop for everything automotive. Don't settle for less with your next pre-owned vehicle purchase. Come to Earl Duff Pre-Owned Center in Harriman or online at duffpreowned.com.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
If you've been injured in an accident and you've been getting a cold shoulder, then let OEB Law put the insurance companies on ice. As many times as it takes. Call OEB Law and leave the icing to the professionals.
Welcome back into the Locker Room Chat, and we're visiting with the Anderson County state champion Mavericks in Class 4A and head coach Davey Gillum here. And Coach Gillum, I know you're so proud of not only these guys, but your whole team and just everything.
Yeah, we are. I mean, coaches, players, administration, our band, our cheerleaders, dance, I mean, ROTC, just everybody there does their part and does it the best they can. I mean, our Jumbotron on Friday nights, we got, again, Coach No and Coach Moog. I mean, everybody's got a niche and everybody takes pride in it. And I mean, Coach No moved. They spend a whole week getting ready just for the, little clips and things that go on the Jumbotron. And then I've got my sister and Andrea and a few people run concessions, but just so many people in the program. It is so much bigger than me. I'm so thankful to have all this help, but it allows us to operate the way we do. If it was just about me or me and my coaches, you couldn't do what we do.
You got Richie on the PA, right?
Yep.
Is he coming back next year, PA?
As far as I know.
Right. You better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we got Jaden Bullock leading off here the next set of love songs here, number 50. And Jaden, just talk about winning that state championship.
It's honestly just amazing to finally do it.
And you're a senior,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And you play, where'd you play middle school?
Yes, sir. I've been playing really since I was 4 years old.
Did you play at Norris or Lake
Yes,
City?
sir. Norris.
Talk about Coach Richie No there at Norris.
Well, he was always tough on me. I never got it lightly.
Who's tougher, him or Chadwell or Cross?
It definitely has to be Richie.
Richie? Yeah.
Yeah, I live with him.
I know, but Coach Chadwell was getting up there towards the end of the year.
Yeah, Gavin said he has to live with Richie. So, okay. So, what's your plans for the future?
Right now, I don't know, because I'm going to see if I can try to get a wrestling scholarship and get one for football too, and see where it takes me.
How's the wrestling season going?
Going good so far right now. I had a tournament over Christmas break, and I placed 5th in it. And last year I placed 4th, but I had more time of practice and stuff, and this year I only had 4 days of practice. So, but it was really good competition and showed where I've improved.
And what's some of the highlights for you personally this season?
The best one would probably be batting down Greenville's quarterback's ball and watching it hit my head like an idiot.
Watching it bounced off your helmet? Not like your toboggan did earlier, or the boys back there?
Yeah.
Walter?
And what position do you play?
Left guard and nose guard.
I definitely figured you were on the line. You look quite strong, and I've never seen you as a wrestler do quite well also. And so what are your plans in the future? You still don't know as of yet?
No, sir.
And I guess that's it for the most.
Who was the toughest team you went up against this year? As far as playing on the line, who was the most physical team?
Greenville. I'm not gonna lie, they're 57. I played on my side. He whooped me half that game. But
you're not grayed out good that game, Coach.
He did have a big kid on him. All teams got their strength. Greenville's real physical. Greenville, Elizabethton, exceptionally physical, but both of them had a couple of kids that just next level good. Greenville's number 57, I can't remember the kid's name. He was about a 6'5" kid, and he could come off the ball real well. And the Walls kid for Elizabethton, 6'5" defensive tackle, both of them just exceptional players. I think Boog draw the short straw both those nights about getting them, but he did fine. He didn't get whooped. But in the run game, they played so aggressive. They're shooting upfield, made it hard to run, but made it a little easier to pass pro and screen them. So we did what they allowed us to. But running at him was an obstacle.
Jaden, how'd you get that nickname Boog?
No, I didn't give it to myself. My freshman year, I was playing with a couple of older guys on Warzone, and they just gave me the nickname because they said I looked like the bear, so it just stuck with me.
Okay. And, I'd like to give a shout out.
Yes, sir. I'd like to shout out my mom, my dad for always being there for me and supporting me, and my grandparents with trying the best they can to come out and watch. And I think like the real big thing about us winning this year was my routine I had before every game, which was eating hamburgers.
Okay, yeah. Where'd you eat the hamburgers from?
McDonald's, sir.
McDonald's. Okay. Get the Big Mac or the quarter pounder?
McDoubles.
McDoubles? Okay. All right. Congratulations. And,
thank you, sir.
Good luck in the wrestling.
That is a lot of our kids. We got catered meals from Aubrey's and Red Lobster, and they're sneaking cheeseburgers.
And we got Clayton.
Sir?
Clayton, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're a junior, right?
Yes, sir.
And you play what position again?
OLDL.
OLDL. And I guess you started this year, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's the highlights for you this season other than winning the state?
I'd say beating Elizabethton both times. It was a big hump to get over for our team. It's a big mental hump. Just being able to whoop them twice felt great.
How did it feel to win the state? Talk about that feeling.
It was unreal. Just the energy that was there. It was unreal.
And we're going to meet Grayson Bradshaw here in a little bit, but just talk about the loss of him. What did y'all have to do to make up for him?
Well, we have Eli Nelson. He's too lazy to show up, so he's probably sitting at home eating potato chips and talking to his girlfriend. But we had him replace Grayson.
Okay. Walter?
I know you're getting ready to play next season. I would say you're looking forward to that. You're probably biting at the bit to get ready for more football after a 15-game schedule, but actually probably want to rest a little while. But what are your thoughts on a wonderful season and the fact you get to come back and maybe add a lot of wins certainly next year and maybe go back to the state championship again?
It's definitely going to be great being able to try and defend the state title.
And what's your plans for the future? I know you're a junior, but have any looking ahead there past your senior year, what you'd like to do?
I've taken 3 courses in the engineering field. I don't know which sector of engineering I'm going to go in, but I've just been studying a lot of fields.
Okay, Matthew, you'd like to give a shout out?
I'd like to get a big shout out to my mom and my dad and my sister and her husband for coming out to all of my games. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to all my coaches and being able to get me ready in one season to play OL. It's definitely hard, but...
This is your first year as a starter?
It was, yes, sir.
Wow.
First year playing OL, too.
Okay. Yeah, you're pretty tall. You look like maybe play a receiver or linebacker. Or...
5 minutes. I don't... Maybe. Wherever they'll put me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up, Lucas May.
Yes, sir.
Lucas May and Walter going to start us off here.
Coach, tell us about your offensive lineman or defensive lineman. I can tell that.
What?
What position do you play?
Oh, I'll play right guard and defensive tackle.
Okay, and what year are you in?
I'm a senior.
Okay. What are your plans for next year?
Go to college at UT. And
okay. And what are your thoughts about the season that you just ended? I know you're probably on cloud 9.
It feels surreal at times, but it also makes sense because we've all put the work in over the past years to get to where we are.
I'd say you're certainly quite proud.
Yeah, it feels earned.
Well, certainly, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Lucas, is this your first year starting?
No, I started last year, sadly.
So
I'm not proud of that year.
You started as a sophomore?
Junior.
Junior, okay.
Yes,
so
sir.
you're a senior, right?
Yes, sir.
Senior. So what's it like playing for Anderson County? Just did you play at Norris Middle?
Yes, sir. Under Richie.
So you grew up wanting to play for the Mavericks, and
yeah.
Just talk about just putting on that jersey.
Well, I went to Clinton Elementary, so I got a taste of the bad side and realized where I had to go. So I knew I wasn't going to Clinton.
You know, me and Walter went there, though.
It's 22 years for a reason.
About 40 years ago, we was there.
It's been a while.
A couple days ago.
Yeah. So who was the big toughest opponent for you this year?
His toughest opponent for the line was probably Greenville, but for the team, it was probably Elizabethton.
Okay. All right, Lucas, go ahead and give a shout out.
I'd like to shout out my mom and dad, just for always being my biggest supporter.
Okay. Well, thank you and congratulations. And last but not least, Grayson Bradshaw. And Grayson, sorry you got injured in the Red Bank game, but congratulations on winning the state championship. And what's your feelings on winning that state?
You know, it was kind of hard being injured and being there on the sideline and not being able to be out there with my brothers that I've played with the whole year. But it was still a great feeling because I know put in all that work all year and it just paid off in the end. So it was just relieving.
And what's your thoughts on next season?
I think next season can be a really good season. I think we definitely have a chance to go back-to-back. It just depends on how much work we're willing to put in.
And what are your plans? You know, you're a junior, but looking down the road, do you have any plans after you graduate?
Yes, sir. I'd like to get the opportunity to play football in college and be able to at least pursue it. But I really plan on going to the medical field, maybe being an anesthesiologist or something along those lines. Okay. But I definitely like the opportunity to play in college.
I'd like to give a shout out?
I'd like to shout out my family, all my friends, and Susie Clayton.
Okay, and I know the basketball team misses you as well.
Yes, sir.
Right. Congratulations, Grayson. And we got about a minute, Coach. Guys, come on up here. Come on up on the camera here. And no, just right in front of the camera. Just get there and put the camera on them there. Put the camera on them there, and y'all hold up the horns or whatever, and talk about the Mavericks. Hold up number 1 or whatever. Yeah, and Davey, take us out here.
It's just been a magical year for us, and you know, we're just thankful. As their coach, I had the opportunity to coach this group, all of them. They have put a lot of work in, and we try and stress that you'll reap what you sow, and we don't want anything for free. We've definitely tried to instill, if you want something great, you got to pay a great price, and these kids did it.
5 seconds. So appreciate you coming in, Coach. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations.